Ah, so that's pretty much the pour. Yeah, sun. Um, so those will cool down and solidify probably within at least an hour of being poured. So we will, next class, some of you are going to be are going to be investing your molds. So finishing up your gating and venting if needed, mixing up plaster and sand, pouring the plaster molds. And then some of you might be opening up your molds. Some of you kind of probably want to do both, but we'll see how far we get. Anyway, all right. So we're probably gonna let things cool down a little bit and clean up, but there's not a lot of excitement to that. So I should record it though. That'd be nice for posterity. Anyway, that's the important work. But we'll dig those out when you come in and break them open with hammers and chisels and implements of destruction. And then you'll cut off the gating and venting. There may be some flashing because there's a lot of cracking I noticed. Probably our kiln got a little hotter than I would have liked. But anyway, any questions? The sand packed around it, when you pour the molten metal into the mold, the weight of the metal wants to push out. So if it's just a mold sitting there, these types of molds sitting there by themselves, they'll push out even a little, like they'll push a little bit and it'll open up all the cracks even more. So you get more flashing and thicker flashing. So when you pack sand around it, it keeps it solidified. Any other questions, comments, inquiries? Pretty smoothly. I mean, it's sort of the opposite of that, like not burning them out enough and having them shoot flames out of the top and gurgle and having all kinds of weirdness that way. So we'll see. When we break them open, we'll see. Nice. But they seem to pour okay, as best I can tell. Sometimes I'll go around with a welding rod and stick it into the vents and see if the vents filled up with metal. So when I use a welding rod there and drive it down into the vent holes, I seem to be tapping metal when I get, not down too far. So that means that the metal, it's not a guarantee, but it does mean that the metal has flowed up through the piece, or at least gotten itself up to the height of the vent, close to the top of the vent. So that indicates that it's most likely that the metal went through and has gotten there. That doesn't mean there aren't holes or something weird happening, but it means that it's different if I put that wire all the way down in and it kept going, I just wasn't hitting anything until the softness of the investment at the very bottom. So there's not a long channel, it's just about that much, a couple of inches. So the metal has made it, up the vent. So that's a reasonably good sign. So I'm happy. But we'll see. We'll break them open and we'll see what they look like next week. All right, so I'm going to go rehydrate. And I will see you guys next week. Okay? All right, take care, everybody.